Excellent stuff. All right, let's get started on today's lesson. Today we're going to be learning about transformation. Does anybody want to tell us, what do we know about transformations? What is a transformation? Let's think about it. What is a transformation? What comes to mind? Correct. And I agree when you say, I don't know about Optimus Prime, but I do know of an Optimus Prime. I'm sure you guys have watched the Transformers movies. I think one of them at least. Right. A transformation is when something changes from one thing to another, or it changes its position from one space to another. Now, let's say, for instance, let me do this. My drawings actually. All right. So we've got a square, right? We've got a square. Now, if I'm looking at the square, I'm going to put it on a Cartesian plane in a little bit, but I'm always going to consider two things. I'm going to consider how the shape looks, how it is, and where it is. Where it is. All right. So when we're talking about transformation, we always need to think about where something is and what it is, because the way it looks and where it's positioned on the Cartesian plane is going to change when we transform it. Now, if I take my square, right, and I move it from here to there, now it's here, right, has my square changed? Has the shape of my square changed? Yes or no? Let me know in the chat. Has the shape of my square changed at all? No, it has not changed. It hasn't changed. So all I've done is I've moved it from where it was and I've put it in a new place. I've put it in a new place. And this shift from one place to another is called a translation. This, I'm going to need you to remember. It's very important for us to remember this. This is called a translation. Okay. It's called a translation. When we take one thing from one place and we put it in another. All right. Okay. Now, let's look at this next one. I'm going to put in here a parallelogram. This is a parallelogram or a rhombus, however we want to see. Right. Now, if I take my parallelogram and I put it over here, but instead of it looking like this, it ends up looking like it's not making the posture happen. What's happening? There we go. All right. So if I take it and I move it over here, right, has the shape changed? Has the shape changed in any way? Yes or no? Yes, definitely a different shape, because it's not how it was in the beginning. Yes, correct. But how has it changed? Yes, you're quite correct, Abu. It has transformed, but how has it transformed? Beautiful. It's a mirror image. It's a mirror image. So you can almost imagine that there's like a mirror in between these two things, right? So when we are looking in a mirror and we are seeing a mirror image, what do we call that mirror image? What is it called? A what? Correct. That is it. It is called a reflection. And this is also something you're going to need to learn. It's a reflection. Beautifully done, Theo. That's it, Gabriel. Good. Yes, it's a reflection. Excellent. Right. That's it, Gabriella. Well done. Good. So we're just taking it and we're taking it from here and taking it on the mirror, flipping it over and putting it on the other side. The reflection. All right. Next one that we're going to learn about, let's say, for instance, I have a tiny little triangle over there. Copy it quickly. And if I move it over here, now my triangle comes out. What do we call this? What do we call this shape? Correct. I feel like Abu's sitting there with Google open because it's giving me all the answers I'm looking for. Right. Correct. Good. That's it. So when we take it from small shape to a bigger shape, it's called an enlargement. I know you're not cheating, Abu. I know. I know. Excellent. Enlargement. It's called an enlargement. Good. Now, if I had to do this in the opposite direction, if I had to go from the big rectangle to the small rectangle, what would we call that? Correct. Sure, you're on fire today, Abu. Well done. Right, excellent. So if we're taking it from something small or from something big to smaller, we are reducing it. Therefore, it's a reduction. I love that. Excellent. Good stuff. Now, I need everybody to give me a thumbs up in the chat if everything we've just explained makes sense. So that makes one of us. I went to the gym today and I completely hated my trainer afterwards. He wasn't my best friend. I'm still a little bit crossing. Made me work. So, yeah. Completely different. It's still workout experience. But I'm glad that you're enjoying them. Okay. Yeah, that's not good for your body, trust me. Oh, yeah, I've completely forgotten rotation. But the reason I haven't added it in Teacher Simone is because Teacher hasn't added it into her notes either. She hasn't added it either. So I'm not 100% sure whether I should. Okay. I will double check, but I'll mention it to her, and maybe on Thursday when they do it on the Cartesian plane, she can explain the one on a deviate from what we do. Okay. Ooh, so I'll let her know she must cover it on Thursday. Otherwise, it's gonna be okay. I'll let her know. All right. Yes. Okay. So there is a fifth one. There is a fifth one. There is rotation. But teacher Kat didn't add rotation into today's notes. So I need you guys to do me a favor. I need you guys to put a note wherever you're writing your Watobe notes. Put like a pen like this, do this, and say, remind teacher Kat. Remind teacher Kat to teach rotation. Okay. These guys, because I'm not going to be here on Thursday. And if she doesn't teach you, you guys, your quiz is going to be interesting. Okay. So make sure you remind teacher Kat to teach you guys rotation. All right. Okay, let's get started on today's lesson. Today we're going to be learning about the Cartesian plane, and we should already be quite familiar with Cartesian plane. Right. So we're going to be naming these two coordinates. We've got coordinate A and coordinate B. We're having trouble seeing. You guys are going to have to zoom in a little bit. I'm not going to be able to do that on my screen, otherwise I'm going to miss that is going on. All right. So we're going to be naming these two coordinates, coordinate A and B. Now, remember, guys, when we write coordinates, which value always comes first? There's an order to these. Which value do we write first? Correct. That's it. Abu and he said so. Well done. Good. Satando, well done. Yes, Fulani, good. We always put the X value first, and then we put a semicolon, and then we put our Y value. Right. Okay. So I need two very brave volunteers to give me the coordinates for A and the coordinates. Anybody want to venture to help? Siamtanda. Is this the same Siamtanda that we just had? Hello, Siamtanda.
Hello, ma'am.
Oh, different Siamtanda. There's another Siamtanda in the other part. So, thought it was the same person. But how are you doing?
I'm good, ma'am.
Excellent. All right. Do you want to give us the coordinates for A?
The coordinates for A is that the x is 0, ma'am.
No. Remember, we find the X values on the actual X axis. So where does A actually sit on the X axis? Okay.
The X is 6, ma'am, and the Y is 0.
Correct. Good. The X value is 6 and the Y value is 0. That's it. Kind of well done. Beautifully done. Excellent, excellent. Right. Bonus points for whoever can tell me if my Y value is 0, what do we call the 6, this value for 6? When we're doing equations of a straight line, what do we call 6? Oh my goodness. I mean, can't even finish my sentence, and Abu's already just like, in there with the answer. That's it, congratulations, well done. It's called an x-intercept. Beautiful. Remember, whenever we want to find an x-intercept, our y is always going to equal to 0. And that's why we have y and 0 for this. It's an x-intercept. Well done. Thought that was actually, I actually thought that was going to be a hard question. But clearly, it was so easy. Okay, Theo, do you want to give us the coordinates for B?
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening. How are you doing?
Good evening, ma'am. So, ma'am, the x value is -2,
Good.
and the y value is 3.
Beautifully done. Well done. Excellent stuff, Theo. Like on point, 100%. Sure. Okay. So this class is really going to move very fast. We can like have this on point. All right. Okay. We're going to learn something a little new today. All right. We're going to learn about quantum. Okay. So first thing I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to ask you guys to draw your own Cartesian planes. And then I'm going to ask you guys to plot these 4 coordinates. Plot the point P, Q, R, and S on your Cartesian plane. You need to draw your own Cartesian plane. When you're done, pop your favorite emoji in the chat. I think I'm going to put the emoji. That's my favorite. That's my emoji of them. Okay. Because I'm a developer. I'll give you guys some time. When you are ready, pop your favorite emoji chat. Okay, that's okay, Abu, because we're going to go through it and we're going to learn a couple of things about the quadrants as we go along. But for now, I just need you to plot those 4 points on your Cartesian plane. It's yet to be seen. We'll see, Abu. Let's check in a little bit. I'm just going to wait for people to pop their favorite emoji in the chat when they're ready. Okay. Yeah, Samanipo, you're doing a great job. What a lovely emoji, Desmarie. I love it. Nice, nice one. I like girly, really nice things. Yes, good vibes. And then Morangi just comes with a skeleton head. How? All right, we'll wait for 1 or 2 more emojis and then we're going to have a quick chat about this. I will stop stealing. Find your own emoji. You're stealing mine now. I see you. All right, peeps, I think that's enough emojis. Let's get into it. Okay, all right, let's get into it. I just want to double check that everybody's drawn the right thing. Let's see. All right, So we're going to plot P. P says -2 and 5. There's X, my X value for -2. There's my Y value. Q is -2 and -2, which is down here. Here, -2, right? R is 4 and -2, which is down here. Here's R, 4 and -2, and S, which is 4 and 5. 4 and 5. Right. Now, I want you guys to tell me how much you got out of 4. Did you manage to plot them all in the correct place? Tell me. A number out of 4, did we all plot them in the correct? Excellent. Good. All right. Correct. All right. So we know where we're going with this. Excellent. Everybody's got the right idea. Now let's talk about quadrants quickly. Before we continue, give me a thumbs up if you know about the quadrants. Thumbs down if you're like, oh man, I don't even know. What is that? Let me know. Okay. I will say thumbs down. Everybody else, let me know. Okay, Indra's got an idea. Excellent. Okay, I'm seeing quite a few thumbs down and a few thumbs up. All right, let's discuss what a quadrant actually is. All right, so if you notice my Cartesian plane, my X, this is my Y-axis. My Y-axis and my X-axis actually cut my Cartesian plane into how many pieces? Let me know. How many pieces do we see? How many pieces have my X and my Y cut my Cartesian plane into? Into 4 pieces, correct. Right. So it's almost as if it's taken a whole and it's broken it up into 4 quarters. Agreed? Now, instead of calling them 4 quarters, we're going to call them quadrants. So we're going to call this first part over here quadrant 1. And we're going to work our way anti-clockwise around our Cartesian plane. So this is quadrant 1. This over here is quadrant 2. Down here, quadrant 3. And down here, quadrant. All right. And now I need a volunteer. Somebody who isn't shy, who wants to unmute, have a bit of a conversation with me. Anybody? Anybody want to have a conversation with me? Tristan, yay! Hello, Tristan.
Hi there.
How are you doing?
Find yourself?
I'm excellent, thank you. All right, some questions, Tristan. And I want to see if you can figure out what I'm getting at. All right, let's focus on quadrant. Right. So we've got this point S, which is sitting in quadrant 1. Now, if I put another point that's also in quadrant 1, let's say, for instance, this point over here, the coordinate of that point is 3 and 3. And I'll give you another one. That coordinate over there is 2 and 1. What do I notice about the coordinates in quadrant 2? Have you noticed anything about the X values in the Y?
Yeah, I think they're in direct proportion.
We could say the indirect proportion, but they'd have to be in relation to something else. So think about, let's compare numbers in quadrant 1 to quadrant 2. Let me say, if I take this point in quadrant 1 where it says 2 and 1, and I put it over here on this side, and I reflect it on the side, I'm going to get -2 and 1. What do we notice the difference between the coordinates are in this? What do you notice about the X values in quadrant 1 versus the X values in quadrant 2?
In quadrant 1, the X value is a positive number, and quadrant 2, the X value is negative number.
Excellent, good. So we know that in quadrant 1, our X values are going to be positive. What about our Y values?
The same thing as in the Y values. In quadrant 1, the Y value, oh, it's not the same. In quadrant
1, our Y values are
positive.
correct. They're positive. Excellent. Good. All right. Now we need to make this deduction about quadrant 2. What did we say about the X values in quadrant 2?
It's negative.
Good. X values are negative, but what about the Y values?
They're both positive.
Correct. The y values are positive. Good. Now, let's see what would it say about all the x values and y values in quadrant. What would we see here? What do we know about the x values? What do we see about the x values in quadrant 3? Think about it. These are all the x values in quadrant 3. All of these over here. What do you notice about one thing? They're what? Anybody has an answer? Help them out in the chat. Have a look. Let me give you an example. Here's another one over here. I'm going to do this. 5 and -4. Let's do another one down here. -3 and -5. What are the values in quadrant 3? What do you think, Tristan?
Say again, please.
What do we notice about the x values and the y values in quadrant 3?
They all negative.
Correct. The x values are negative and the y values are
Negative.
negative. All right. So I'm gonna let you get to that conclusion, to the conclusion of quadrant 4 for me. What do we notice about quadrant? We notice about our x values. They are
It's one positive.
correct. The x values are positive and the y values
Is negative. The y value is
Correct.
negative.
excellent. All right. So these are the defining features of each of these. Thank you so much, Kristen. That is the answer I was looking for. All of them, every single. If I say, what do we know about values in quadrant 3? Then you need to be able to tell me the x is negative and the y is negative. What about quadrant 2? My x is negative, but my y is positive. Give me a thumbs up if we are okay with all of this. Give me a thumbs up in the chat. Are we okay with the differences in quadrants 1, 2, 3, and 4? All right. Excellent. Good stuff. Because, and I'm telling you guys now, from grade 10 and grade 11 and grade 12, this is going to come up again and again and again. So it's very important that we already know it now while we can. All right. Hello, Lerato. No worries. Not at all. Just happy that you're here. All right. So let's talk about this. I need another volunteer. Indra, I want you to put your hand up because now I need somebody to answer these questions for you. So now what we do? We didn't quite answer. Yes, Indra, how are you doing? If I'm saying your name correct. Am I saying your
Hi,
name correct?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Ah, beautiful. And it's such a beautiful name. I love it. All right, let's talk about this. Okay, now the question says, name the quadrant in which each point goes. So let's start with P. Which quadrant does the coordinate P live in?
In quadrant 2,
Beautiful, that's in quadrant 2. What about Q?
3,
Excellent. What about R? Quadrant
4,
4. Good. And S?
1.
Quadrant? Beautiful. Okay. And then you can answer the very last question. Because it says, what type of shape is PQR?
It's a rectangle.
Beautiful. It's a rectangle. Clearly, my drawing doesn't show that it's a rectangle, but I promise.
Okay,
Guys,
ma'am.
I'm a math teacher, not an artist. I'm not a Picasso. Thank you so much, Indra. You want me to give you
Welcome, ma'am.
that had hand up. I love it. Good. It's a rectangle. It's a rectangle. Yes. Correct. All right. It's a quad something. No, it's a rectangle. Yes, it's a quadrilateral, but it's a rectangle. All right. So I'm going to give you guys a chance to do this on your own. Here is questions 1, 2, and 3 on a Cartesian plane. I want you guys to answer all 3 of these questions. 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to give you guys about 4 minutes to answer this question. And when you're done, as always, pop your favorite emoji. All right, take it away. No, I'm not. No, sorry, Abu. I'm not going to label them for you. You must figure out the labels of the quadrants. Okay, I'll give you a hint. I'll give you a hint. This one is number one. That's the only hint I'm giving you. But that first one over there is number one. The rest you need to figure out yourself. Don't give away the answer. Put your favorite emoji in the chat. Don't give away the answer yet. Lovely. All right. I'm seeing quite a few emojis coming in. Okay. Awesome stuff, guys. Oh, Tamaleti, what about the others? What about the rest of the questions? Like, I think it's a triangle. The rest, I don't know, man. I don't know. We need to try all the questions. All right. Okay. Let's get started on this. Corey is a whole red flag today. I see you, Corey. All right. Okay, let's get started. Okay. So it says plot the points on the Cartesian plane. Right. So let's plot A. A is -4 and 5. Yeah, that's A, and we're going to add 5. Right. B is -2 and -3, which is down here. B -3. And then C is going to be our X coordinate is 0, which is right here in the middle, and then our Y coordinate is 2. E. Okay. Now, the next question says, in which quadrant does point B lie? In which quadrant does point B lie, Siamtanda?
Quadrant 3, ma'am.
Beautifully said, beautiful. And what do we know about all the coordinates in quadrant 3? What do we know about the X and the Y values in quadrant 3? If you're a bit stuck, have a look in the chat.
They're negative.
Correct, they're all negative. My X is negative and my Y is also negative. Okay. Mamela says, Y is a quadrant 3. Remember, Mamela, this is quadrant 1. This one is 2. This one is 3. And this quadrant over here is 4. Because the coordinate for B lands in this area over here, it's called quadrant. Okay. Oratile, I don't want to leave you behind. Please let me know where I lost you. Okay, where is the confusions? All right, excellent. Okay, so what kind of shape do we get from ABC? We get a triangle. Well done for those of you who at least got the triangle. If you got the plot, if you also plotted all the points correctly, that's excellent as well. Yes, well done, Tandalit. Well done. Oratile, where have I lost you, Miss? Okay, I need to know where I've lost you in order for us to do this correctly. All right. Here is your next challenge, please. I would like you guys to look at the Cartesian plane that they've given us over here. And I want you guys to answer questions 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 for me. Okay. How do you identify if it's a positive or a negative? Okay, so these values over here, let us know. Do you see how, so this line over here is called my x-axis, this line over here, right? And if we take our x-axis, you'll note that all the numbers on this side of the x-axis are negative. That's negative 10, negative 8, negative 6, negative 4, negative 2, right? And all of the numbers on this side, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, all of these are positive. So we can tell when we look at how the quadrants break apart, that all the x values from here to there are going to be negative. Everything, all the x values in this part over here are going to be negative. Okay. No, you don't have to draw it, Gabriela, that's fine. Okay, Oratile, let me ask you this question. What do we know about all the y values over here? Bear in mind, this is our y-axis. What do we notice about all the y values over here? What do we see them as? If you look at all these values for y over here, what are they going to be? Positive or negative? Like, I think anybody can answer that question for me. Okay, I will remember, don't give away answers, give everybody a chance to answer the questions for themselves. Yes, correct. Yes, you're correct. Look here. Okay. It's not that you're thinking about it, you actually do know the answer. Here is our y-axis. And down here, do you notice that all our y values over here are negative? So that means in this quadrant, which is quadrant 3, all my x values are going to be negative, and all my y values are going to be negative. All right, give me a thumbs up in the chat if it's making sense to you now. Okay, let me know. Okay, excellent. Good. All right. We're gonna wait for a couple more people to give us thumbs up or your favorite emoji when you're done with the question. Okay, so that we can answer some of these. Did we pass the lunch break? Yes, unfortunately, guys. Unfortunately, we might not have a we might not have a brain break today, depending on how depending on how much of this we actually get here. All right. Okay, let's get started. Every time I see Tanda's devil horn emoji, I'm like, yes, it's time to start. All right. Anybody willing to offer up answers? You're more than welcome to put your hand up and have a conversation with me. If not, you can pop your, oh, Mamelo's hand just shots. Love that. Love it. Yes. The rest of you guys, if you're too shy or you're like, nah, I'll let Mamelo have this one, you can pop your answers in the chat as we do. All right, Mamelo, how are we doing, Masidi?
Hi, ma'am.
Hello.
How are you?
All right. I'm good, thank you. How are you doing, Masidi?
I'm good.
Excellent. All right. Are you ready to answer question 1 for me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. It says here, for which point does y equal negative 1? Which coordinate has a y value of negative 1?
A.
Beautiful. That's correct. A. Good. I'm
Ma'am.
going to add in another question. Which quadrant does A fall into?
Ma'am.
Which quadrant does point A fall on? Quadrant?
B. B or A?
A.
A. It's 4.
Quadrant 4, yes, this is quadrant 4. Well, quadrant
Yes,
4. Well done. All right, next question it says, for which points does x equal -6? Excellent. What is that?
B.
E. Excellent. And you also know I'm going to ask you again, which quadrant does E fall in?
2.
Beautifully done. Excellent. Well done. That's it, Mama. Look. Well done. All right. Can I ask somebody else to
Thank
finish
you,
up for
ma'am.
me? I've got 4 more questions. I'm going to ask you and Tanda and Boyzo to finish. Is that okay?
Ma'am?
Is that okay? I'm going to ask Tanda and Boyzo to finish up for me. But you did that so excellently. It took us like 3 seconds to get done with these answers. Well done. That was just
Thank
like
you, ma'am.
very, very quick. Well done. Excellent stuff. Sure. Phil, you guys are really fast. Tanda, you want to do these next 2 for me? Questions 3 and 4?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, excellent.
So the answer
So
for
this is-
question 3,
Yes.
so the answer for question 3 is D, ma'am.
Correct. Why don't we say that y for that the y value is -5 for D when this value for C is also negative? Why do we choose D instead?
Ma'am, it says that for the question says for which point does y is y the negative y -5?
What do we know about
Y is 0.
this coordinate? What do we know about this coordinate over here? Y is 0. Correct. Very well done. Beautiful. Good. So the answer we're looking for is D. Right. I'm going to ask you about quadrants because it's sitting right in the middle of 2 quadrants. So we're going to leave it there for now. Okay. What about question 4? It says, for which points does x equal?
For question 4, the answer is also D, ma'am.
Correct. Yes, absolutely. The answer is also. Well done. That's it, Siantana. I'm so glad you understand that so profoundly. That's a good thing. Okay, it's a little confusing for some people, so I'm so glad that you can see it 100%. Well done, Siantana. Excellent. Excellent work. All right, Boyzo, do you want to do questions 5 and 6 for me?
Okay, ma'am.
Are you sure? I feel like your
Yeah.
hand was already up. All right, okay, let's get started on question 4. It says, for which points does y equal 0? Which point has a y coordinate of 0?
C.
Correct. Yes. You sound very unsure, but you're 100% correct. Yes, it's C. Right. Well done. It's C. Now, question 6 says, write down the coordinates of A, B, C, and D. So now you've got a big job to do, right? We're going to have to
Yes.
start. Let's start with A. Let's start with A. What are the coordinates?
Y. Oh, -8 on the y-axis, and
Yes, but when we write coordinates, which number is
the x-axis.
correct? The x coordinate. What is the x coordinate?
3.
So it's 3, and then I'm going to semicolon, and then
-8.
beautifully done. Good. That's A. Okay, let's move on to B. A is done. What about B? What are the values?
-6.
Good. -6 and
+8. Oh, 8.
beautiful. Yes, that's positive. Good. Let's talk about
C.
Mhm. What is my x coordinate?
-5.
Oh, really? Negative. What about my y? My y coordinate.
0.
Oh, yo, I thought this was going to be like really tricky for you, but no, you got this. You got this. All right. What about D?
D 0.
Correct. Our x value is 0, and our y value is
-6.
let's make it a 6. Look again. Look again.
Oh, -5. Sorry.
-5. Correct. I know the D is sitting next to -6, but the dot is actually at -5. So,
Yeah.
well done. I thought that was going to take us a lot more time. I'm not even sure what I'm going to do with you guys once we're done here because you guys have answered me. Well done, team. That was excellently put. Yo, you guys are like super fast. Super, super fast. Sure, well done. Oh, guys, at this rate, I feel like you guys can just, I'll just leave you guys with the questions. You guys can just do it. Okay. Question 5 is C. Yes, it is. Yeah, we have actually put that there. For which points does y equal 0? Point C. Okay. All right. Great. Now, we're going to have to start transforming, right? Because that's what the actual lesson is about. It's about transformation. Okay. What are the quadrants for 3, 4, and 5? All right. In this case, because they lie on the x-axis, they share a quadrant. So let me ask this question. Which two quadrants does point D share? What are the two quadrants that point D form on? You can tell me. What two quadrants? Correct, Mamelo, that's it. Yes, 100%. They are in, or point D is in quadrants 3 and 4. Excellent. All right, what about quadrant C? Gabriella's just given it away. I didn't even finish. Gabriella, I didn't even ask the question. You already gave me the answer. Well done. Yeah. And point C is going to fall in quadrants 2 and 3. Well done. Quadrants 2 and 3 because it's on the line between both. All right. Okay. So we can't really say any specific quadrant because they lie on the actual x and y axis, but they share. Okay, they share 2. All right. Let's think about transformations. All right. Okay. We're going to have to put everything we know about lines and transformations together. Now, who can remind us, what is the equation of a straight line? What is the equation of a straight line? Please don't make us hungry now. I'm also very hungry right now. I know. Teacher Simone, he did such a... Thank you, Indra. Thank you, Nosifo. Guys, let's focus. Now I'm thinking about food. Guys, please. Okay. Please. Okay, great. So we know that the equation of a straight line, is y is equal to mx. Right. So they've asked us in this particular question over here, they say, on the Cartesian plane below, or on your own Cartesian plane, draw the line of y is equal to x. Y is equal to x. What would the line of y is equal to x look like if we had to do it? It has some very distinct features. Who can tell us? Who knows? Correct. Yes, absolutely, Abu. It's going to pass through the origin. That's one of the features. Yes, it's going to pass through the origin. Good. That's one thing. Now let's think about what kind of line is it? Is it an increasing or a decreasing line? Well, yes, we know it's definitely a straight line because it's the equation of a straight line, yes. But is it increasing or decreasing? Correct, it's an increasing graph because our x is positive, or the gradient in front of x. By the way, what is the gradient? Let's talk about the gradient. What is the gradient? What's the gradient in front of that x value? Correct. Right. The gradient, or if we have any x sitting on its own, we know that the gradient is going to equal 1. I can just rewrite this as 1x. That's my gradient. Right. Now, if I want to draw this line, all I really need to do, guys, is I need to find 2 points. The dual intercept method isn't going to work But let's substitute in a couple of points. Let's look at if x is equal to 1 and y is and x is equal to -1. Let's put these 2 points in here, right, to find y coordinates. Now, if x is equal to 1, if I replace x over here with 1, what does my y value become? Y is equal to what? What is y going to be equal to? Not -1, be very careful. If x is equal to 1, think about it, guys. I'm going to replace x in the formula with 1. What is y going to equal to? That is correct, Abu and Nasiko. Correct. My y is also going to be 1. Well done, Unoki. Now, if I put that in there, this also gives me a coordinate. I can then go onto my Cartesian plane and I'm going to go look for the coordinate. X is 1 and y is 1. Right. Now, we're going to do the same thing with x is -1. So I want you guys to go over here and replace x with -1. If I replace x with -1, what does my y value become? Y is going to equal to what? Correct. That's it. If my x value is -1, my y value is also going to be -1. Right. And that gives me another coordinate. -1, my x is -1, and my y is -1. So I'm going to go and take these 2 points that I have here, and I'm going to plot them on my Cartesian plane. Right. So there's the point 1 and 1, and there's the point -1 and -1. And then I'm going to draw a line. I'm going to join these dots, and I'm going to draw a line. That line is going to go through the origin. There we go. Yes, and it's increasing. Correct, Abu. There we go. Okay, before I continue, please give me a thumbs up if you understand everything that we've just said here. Does everybody understand where I got the coordinates 1 and 1, and -1 and -1? Does everybody understand that? We understand that we are using the equation of a straight line to draw this. Okay, Kandaletu, if I've lost you, tell me where I've lost you. I don't want to leave you behind. Yes, Mamello.
Hi, ma'am.
Hello, my sweetie.
So, ma'am, I don't understand where did you get the 1 and the -1?
Okay, so the x values I choose. Remember when we're talking about dependent and independent variables, like let's say, for instance, if our formula said y is equal to 2x plus 1. Now, if we want to plot the graph of y is equal to x plus 1, I'm just going to choose a random number for x. I'm going to go, if x is 0, if I replace x with 0 over here, what is my y value going to be? I'm going to get 2 times 0 plus 1. What is 2 times 0 plus 1?
Oh, it's 1.
1, correct. So I've chosen my x to be 0. If I choose my x to be, choose another number, any number for x that you want. Choose a number. 2. If we make x 2, we're going to get 2 times 2 plus 1. So what is my y going to be? If my x is 2, y is going to equal to
5.
5, correct. So now what you've done, Mamelo, is you've given me 2 coordinates. In this first part over here, my x coordinate is 0 and my y coordinate is 1, right? What about
Yes,
this
ma'am.
bottom one? What about this bottom one? What is my x coordinate?
2.
Good. And my y is
5.
5. Good. So I'm going to take these 2 points and I'm going to go onto my Cartesian plane and I'm going to plot them. And then I'm going to join them with a straight line. So I'm going to go to 0 and 1, which is here. And then I'm going to go to 2 and 5, which is there. And then I'm going to grab my ruler and draw these 2. Okay, I'm going to join them like that. You get where I'm going with this? Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Cool. Now, I'm going to actually delete this. Right. Now, about the graph that they've given us. Let's think of the equation they've given us. They've given us y is equal to x. So now we choose 2 points, Mamilo. I can go x is equal to 1. If I choose that x is equal to 1, what is y going to be?
Isn't it 2?
If I
Because of
replace
the
it
plus
with 1,
1.
there's no plus 1. Look at
Okay,
the
it's
equation
y.
they've just given us y is equal to, right?
Okay,
So if I make
yes,
x
ma'am.
equal to 1, y is going to equal to
1.
1, correct. What if I make x 2? If x is equal to 2, y is going to equal to
2.
2, correct. You see, you've given me 2 coordinates. The first one is 1, x is 1 and y is 1. What about the second one? X is
2. Semicolon
and
2.
2. Beautiful. So if I go and I plot these, there is the point 1 and 1. See it?
Yes, ma'am.
Good. Where's the point 2 and 2? There. Do you see how it's
Yeah.
still on that same line that ma'am has drawn?
Yes, ma'am.
Am I making sense now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, remember, x is your independent variable. You get to choose what x is. All right.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
You're very welcome, Ms. Vicky. Beautiful question, by the way. You helped me explain because I feel like Princess was also a little. Princess, give me a thumbs up if this is now making sense to you as well. Okay. We're almost done. Excellent, Gabrielle. I'm glad. I'm glad. All right. Cool. Now, the next question here says, look at the shape that has been plotted on the Cartesian plane. Give the coordinates for each vertex. Now, the vertex just means the corner. So it's not even that big a deal. We can easily do this, right? Oh, I think it's an irregular quadrilateral, so there's nothing that's the same. We can easily find out the coordinates of each of these. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop today's lesson right here.